Hello. Today we're going to look at ALEKS, specifically the learning path within ALEKS. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you've already completed your tools tutorial and initial knowledge check. And when you complete your initial knowledge check, it will give you credit in your ALEKS Pi for those topics that the AI thinks you already understand. I intentionally got every question wrong, so it's giving me 0 credit so I can start at the beginning. So the place where my path begins might be different from the place your path begins. All of you are actually going to start in a slightly different place depending on where your initial knowledge check started. So each time you come into ALEKS, you're going to click on this white button. It either says start my path or continue my path or continue learning, something like that. Next to it, you will see your pie grow bigger and bigger as you learn more, and we'll see that in a little while. The first time you're here, you'll see a new Quick Tables notification. These are math fact practice possibilities. For now, you can just close those windows, and we'll worry about that another time. So let's dive in here, start my path. And it will start with some explanation. Don't just breeze past this learning page. The learning page is here to help you. It's kind of like a mini version of your textbook. So read through the question, the explanation, try to understand it. If there is another explanation, please watch that. I almost always prefer the second explanation as I think a better way to explain it. But there's not always 2 explanations. So 8 plus 9, you can think of it as 8 plus 9 more blocks. So we just continue to count. Or starting at 8, we're going to continue to move forward 9 more. So jump forward. They're starting with the bigger number 9 using the commutative property, which makes it a little bit faster. So start with the bigger number, then add up the 8. We get to 17, same thing. Right? Hopefully adding small whole numbers is not so challenging for you, but make sure your cursor is in the middle here in the box, and then you type your answer, and then you have to click check. Return doesn't do it for you. So 9 plus 2, I got a little green filled in bubble here. It says keep going. So 6 plus 7. Another green bubble. Because I got 2 in a row, I actually got double credit for that one. Now if I get this one right, I'll get double credit again. That's the same as the example. 3 in a row. Congratulations. So I've just added that topic to my Pi completion by answering 3 similar questions in a row. That's how this is going to work. So I continue on to the next one. Now I'm adding 2-digit numbers, but without regrouping. I'm not having to carry over to the next one. So I hope you've watched the videos by now talking about this. Right? We add up like terms, the ones terms, and then the tens terms. So 4 tens plus 1 10, that's 5 tens. 7 ones plus 2 ones, that's 9 ones. I move forward. Great. 6 plus 1 is 7 tens. 8 plus 1 is 9 ones, so 7 tens and 9 ones. All right. Next. Now 2 tens plus 7 tens is 9 tens. 3 plus 2 is 5. But let's see what happens if I get it wrong. And it tells me to try again, and I lose one of my progress points. Right? If I keep getting it wrong, I'm going to lose more until I go back to 0. If I get it right this time, it won't be 2 correct in a row because I got one wrong, so you only get that one fill in. Right? Now, the way they structure this is not to punish you for getting wrong answers. It's to help you get as much practice as you need. if you're really solid with something, going through just a few, 3 or 4 or 5 versions of it, that's fine. You can move on. But if you're having a little trouble, you need more practice. You need that reinforcement to make sure you understand it. So trust the system. And since I got the last one right now, it's going to give me 2 in a row. Trust the system to give you credit for what you actually understand, and just move along as it moves you forward. So here we're adding with regrouping. So 3 10s, no more 10s here, but I have 17 1s. So that's a 10 and 7 1s, so 10 plus 3 10s, 4 10s total. If I want to write that out, let me hop over to here. 39 plus 8. 8 plus 9 is 17, and then 3 plus 1 is 4. So there's my 47. 47. Now, I'm not going to spend the whole morning here making videos of all of these. You have explanation videos, and I'm happy to help you out in office hours. For now, let's just go back to our main menu, right? In a lot of websites these days, you see this little hamburger icon, they call it, those 3 parallel lines. That gets you to the menu. If I click on Home, that brings me back home. And you see I now have credit for 2 topics, and it's sort of a light creamy yellow. Once I've mastered those topics in a later knowledge check, those will turn to dark yellow. So whatever colors you have filled in now are dark. As you practice, you'll get a light ring around it that grows and grows as you learn more in that section. Now these categories are created by ALEKS, not by me. So don't worry so much about which questions are in which category. Just focus on the 25 topics that are due in this first assignment. Right? And once you finish those 25, of course, you can move on to the next one. If we want to hop around, let's say addition with regrouping is really causing me trouble. I need to get help with that, but it's 2 in the morning. What can I do? You can click on this little arrow and then choose some other topic within this objective, right? We're in adding and subtracting whole numbers. Whole does start with a W in English. Add and subtract whole numbers. I can't move on to objective 2 until I've completed objective 1. Right? I can't jump to the algebra divisibility rules until I go in order. Right? But within objective 1, I can move on to adding 3 or 4 one-digit numbers. But I can't do, say, addition of large numbers, because this is assuming that I already know how to carry, right? So if I try to click on that, it says you are not able to work on this topic yet because I don't have the prerequisite videos for it. So you can only skip around so much. The idea is to go in the order that they've created for you. That order is automated based on your progress so far. So try not to skip out of order too much as a general rule. All right. So for home, besides start my path, there's not a lot else you can do on this screen, but under the main menu, learn is the same as your learning path. Or if you click on learn, that'll take you to where we just were. Review will take you to any topic that you've already learned or mastered. So I've not mastered any topics yet. You all have mastered at least a couple topics in your initial knowledge check. This is where they all show up. So it just picks one either at random or based on some algorithm I don't understand. But to get to all of them, click on this little triangle, and it will list all the topics you've either learned or mastered so far, whether that's 2 or 200. Right? Now, scrolling through a list of 200 topics will take a while. So that's where filter can come in. You can search for a particular topic. If you don't know the name that ALEKS gives for that, that could be a little hard. Try something simple like addition or subtraction. Once you get there, type in fractions or denominator, right? Just think of a keyword that was probably in the title. The other thing you can do is click on this arrow under review, and you can go to any objective we've done so far. So right now it's just objective 1. That's helpful if you've scored relatively high in your initial knowledge check. You might not want to be practicing fractions or decimals right now. You want to make sure you're solid on these beginner problems, some of which you may not have even seen. They just gave you credit based on the algorithm. So click on objective 1, and then it's only going to list those topics you've learned in objective 1. And you can maybe look at some you haven't seen before, make sure you understand that process. And so that's how you review within ALEKS. I don't really have assignments here, it's just the objectives. You don't have to worry about worksheets. I think you understand the calendar. It's one objective per week, due Thursday every week. Your ALEKS gradebook is tied into the Canvas gradebook, so you don't need to worry about this. That's really only basing a grade on your objectives so far. Reports are not meaningful for you. I can't edit what shows up here. It's the same for everyone. The textbook, if their one-page explanation here is not so helpful or not helpful enough, you can get to the textbook right away. Some topics have videos built in by the system, or you can link to the ebook here. A dictionary to look for some keywords. If you don't remember what the word digit is, it's underlined, so you can just click on it. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, this will work too. Whether it's in review or the learning path, these things are showing up, right? So here the only word is add. If you don't remember what add means, you'll have to go into the ebook and look it up there. Right? So just click on what's there, including videos. There are a lot of helps and resources built into the system. That's why we like ALEKS so much. Of course, calculator is not allowed on most of the problems. A handful of the word problems will let you use a calculator. That's fine, because they're testing more of your understanding of the context and the situation. But problems like this, I'm testing to see, do you know how to actually perform the operation? So a calculator kind of defeats the purpose. And then if you want to jump to the quick tables and practice your multiplication and division now, you can do that. But I'll talk more about that later, so don't stress about those now. Most of what you're going to do this first couple weeks is just learn. And then if you want to review before Friday's quiz, I'd encourage you to use that option as well. Right, so I think that does it for an introduction to how ALEKS works, and I will see you in the next video.